Hello, traders. It is the end of September now, and we're opening up the first week of October during this week, and we're going to do our Tradevago weekly market analysis here and some news for you. As always, we do this at the very beginning of each week, and we'll give you some tips and tricks coming into the week on news and everything. And if you're interested in watching this live, you can join the Discord. The link's in the description there. And then you can ask questions along. So we'll start off with the Dixie here. We saw a nice little pump at the end of last week here. We kind of gave a prediction. The squiggle wasn't dead on, but it worked there. And this week we are looking for a retracement to the downside, at least kind of following the same trend that we've been following, with the bias still towards the upside, because we are in this long-term uptrend. Eventually, we will get a larger pullback, but ultimately, we want to get into these 100 areas, right? So this week, we're a little bit biased on the dollar. So using that info, we can go into our dollar pairs.
One thing, go back to the dollar index just to highlight a few more things.
Sure.
So the dollar index, as you guys see, that there's a key level that we've seen right now over there, that it's literally hovering on the uptrend, as they say, a resistance line. So on the previous months, every single month before the opening of the month, as you see, there is always some sort of manipulation that allowed on the daily, pretty much, that you could see. It comes as an uptrend right before the beginning of the next month. It has happened for the past few previous months, as you've seen.
Yeah.
So these over here initially are, as you could see, something, as they say, always look what happened in the previous days to allocate for what's going to happen in the future. So as you see over here, it's pretty much a repetition of a pattern, right? And the more we get closer to different liquidity levels as well, it is pretty much playing hand in hand. As Hunter mentioned, we look for a pullback at this moment, as we're starting a new month right now, and NFP is going to be coming around this week. So
okay, yeah, that's a really good point, actually, that each start of the month has just come right back down. Okay, so using that bias, let's first look at our major pair here everyone loves, the Euro USD. Something I noticed was this previous local lows on the daily here, it did get struck out and swept some of the stops, so this creates more liquidity. And then we've actually closed the week above these lows. So giving this information, we got a couple new guys here on the Discord. I'm not sure how much they know. Giving this information, I'll just quickly say that this is a rather bullish sign for us. So we would like to be bullish on the Euro USD. And this does go hand in hand with our bias of the Dixie going down, because the Dixie is the dollar. So if the dollar goes down, the Euro USD goes up, right? So ideally, I'm not really willing to enter this yet, but I would like a little pullback here with a tight stop, and then I would enter on a 5-to-1 risk-reward ratio. And we do see our topping out around this zone here, which would be very clear that these would have lots of stop losses behind. So that's why I've just given this this extra little room here. I would like to see it wick up and empty out all of those orders and make everyone lose before coming back down.
Yeah. We previously had an order for Euro USD on Friday. We sent out a call on Forex calls. It was a very good trade, actually, that we entered. But however, again, just because of entering trades during Friday and opening up to a whole new week, especially noting that this is a whole new week and a new month as well, we just wait and of course get be patient with the trade setup. But of course, it's having a bias on the dollar. We're just pretty much playing as to how the Euro USD would play off. But again, on a higher time frame, it is bearish. This is just, again, playing off of what's going to happen through the week, right? So we're going to be playing a few setups on Euro USD. It doesn't entirely mean we're looking to just be buying throughout the week. This just means that we want to start the week by being bullish. But however, again, as we always know, during fundamental high volatility news, the trend always starts off faking in the beginning of the week, and then plays out the opposite in the end of the week. So it's yeah, as you could see there on a higher time frame, it's still very bearish, making lower lows. Um, but it's good to go for an intraday trade, and we'll hopefully see that play out a nice bullish and
Cool.
bearish rather on the higher time frame. So GBP USD.
We've been
Now
making
this is my
this.
my most favorite
This has been dead on for the past few weeks, right? Do you want to cover this one? You got some info?
is definitely be having a nice healthy retrace all the way back up there. So it does a pullback to roughly the on a moving averages using the moving average indicators. However, this is just price action. It should come up roughly up to no more further than 1.24. So we look to short roughly around that region. Again, it's just doing a healthy pullback to those zones, and then once we catch it there, we look for a nice big sell for GBP USD, a big sell all the way down. This is already like a very strong confirmation for GBP USD. We've been playing it very well. Last week, I think we almost got all the trades in blue, so it was a good
Mm.
setups that we're taking last week. Again, last week we were actually just shorting, and we took some heavy pips on that. So again, like as that squiggly line as Hunters
Yeah,
likes to.
that was dead on
Um,
there. I'm just drawing a rough estimate of maybe what.
right. And that previous squiggly line, if you guys could see over there, was the rough estimate for last week, right? And it played out very well as Hunter drew over there. But again, it's very rough sketch, but just to give you guys an idea as to what we see coming for this week, right? So yeah, it we wouldn't say for you to buy in right away because again, we would want to have high win rate setups. So it would be mostly to catch a nice big sell. But again, a scalp could come in.
Okay.
Yeah, a scalp could come in for the live trading if we do come on live trading and post it.
So, UJ, at the end of last week, one of our resting orders hit right here. This is a good indicator for you guys listening along right now. When the market opens, if you do have an account set up, you might want to enter in if it does pop up a little bit higher. Right now, maybe not the best
Right.
because your risk reward would be much worse than ours here. We're about 4-to-1 risk reward here.
Right.
And we're thinking that this is going to break. There might be a retest here, right? But that's generally the consensus: is come back and test these consolidation zone again that it's broken out of. So yeah, we're already in a short on that. UCAD, we have no idea what's going on right now. It's just a mess. It's chopping everyone up. It's best to stay out of this. I have a feeling it's going to come back down a little bit more. But this is just messy, right?
Yeah. UCAD is we could have sent out a few trades on scalps, but again, like it's very choppy. You would definitely get stopped out here and there. So like yeah, it's best to just leave it out for now.
Um, don't have much on the Aussie or the New Zealand unless you wanted to talk about those.
No, mostly those three major pairs, the GBP and the
Yeah,
UJ and EU, mostly for this week.
I did draw a squiggle here
But
last,
again,
but I'm not sure if I believe in it anymore. So, and okay, so
yeah.
I did want to talk about the Swissy here. So we did create. You see this previous high here. We created a nice
Oh
break
yeah,
into liquidity here, and that's a great point to turn around,
definitely.
take out all the stops, and then we dump right
Right.
down. If we look on a daily candles, we've created a new low here, a lower low. So this was simply a retracement. This is not continuing trend. So we've actually entered short somewhere right around here, and I don't have the exact number because I didn't draw it on the chart, but we are in a short right around here is where we entered. Um,
Right.
so we are bearish on the Swissies still, and if you do see an entry come back up, you might be able to enter. We are looking, these low
Yeah.
again. The lows
And again, guys, just to note that for the USD Swissy, it will just be pretty much the complete bias of following the EU, right? Because if we're trying to go long and we're bullish to how the opening would be for EU, then USD Swissy would be bearish, because USD Swissy is USD Swissy and Euro USD are one of the most strongest correlations out there in pairs. So they would completely do the opposite of whether if it's one is going up, the other would go down pretty much.
So I don't think we actually do have any hedges for this week. I think everything is confirming our bias. UJ, Swiss, both bearish. GBP, Euro, both bullish. We have no hedges for this week. I think it's quite clear for us. So if we are wrong, that's too bad. But we're not going to risk more than 2% per trade. I'll just quickly touch on gold here, and then we'll wrap it up. I think because we're creating this very clean level, there's again going to be stops, and I just want to test those stops, get everyone stopped out, and then come back up. And this is going to be our entry if we do see an entry for a gold short. But this might not. It's just a hope. If you guys got any pairs you want to see, then you can post them now. If not, I'll have Pepe just talk about the.
I think on gold we banked a few hundred of pips on the gold short that you called out for 1522, I believe.
Yeah, we did get a gold short there last week. Yeah, right on.
Yeah.
We closed it already though.
Right.
Cool.
Cool. Yeah. So we'll go over Forex Factory now, just to touch up real quick. It's gonna be a fun week, guys. Again, like we said, it's the NFP. NFP is always fun. Not because of it taking out people's account and blowing it away, but rather because playing on the strategy that we have that plays against fundamental news. So we'll be looking forward to that. So starting off by the week with some NZD news. Again, not much that we're playing with. GBP, there should be some news coming out on Monday. Not too volatile. It wouldn't really affect the market as much as we would assume to be, but mostly looking towards the USD pairs. So everything USD is going to be affected this week. So Tuesday we have the ISM, so that's going to affect the USD pairs. Following with Wednesday, the ADP non-farm payroll, and then Thursday coming with the retail sales for odd. So odd USD, all the pairs that are attached to the USD, they would all be volatile. So all the way following through till Friday. Now, something to note fundamentally is, again, because of the manipulation that the banks like to play throughout these fundamental news, usually how it plays out is that the trend would play off in the beginning of the week in one direction and then completely change its direction towards the ending of the week. The reason being is because they're pretty much stopping out and hunting many people throughout this fundamental news. But the way to play it, as we always do, is playing it with sell and buy stops, and we always bank the most. So looking forward to that.
Cool. So I'm just gonna turn off the stream here. If you guys like watching this webinar from YouTube there, just make sure to join the Discord. We got lots of free stuff that you can watch live. Until next week.